moment you realize that no one can truly disturb your inner peace, you've unlocked the secret to an unshakable life. We often hand over the keys to our emotional state without even realizing it. A careless remark, a rude gesture, a moment of disrespect, and we feel our blood boil. But what if the trigger was never in the words spoken, but in the value you placed on the opinion of the speaker? The Stoics understood a simple, profound truth. We are not disturbed by events, but by our interpretation of them. This wasn't just a philosophy for them. It was a daily practice, a mental shield forged in the fires of self-control. They knew that the world will always test your resolve, throwing chaos and conflict in your path like relentless waves against a shoreline. And yet, they remained unmoved. Think of the last time you were genuinely upset. Was it the situation itself that caused the pain, or was it your judgment that the situation was an injustice? This is the critical distinction that separates those who are slaves to their emotions from those who command them. The Stoic response is to pause, to create a gap between the stimulus and your reaction. In that gap lies your freedom. Epictetus taught that it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you respond. When someone insults you, their words are simply sound waves traveling through the air. It is your mind that turns those sound waves into weapons. Your peace is not found outside you. It is forged within. Let me share something that might change everything for you. The Stoics believed in building what they called the inner citadel, a fortress of the mind that no external force could breach. Imagine wearing an invisible cloak that repels all negativity. Every harsh word, every unfair criticism, every petty slight simply slides off because you've chosen not to accept the delivery. This isn't about being passive or weak. It's about being so strong that nothing external can shake your foundation. It's the ultimate form of sovereignty. But how do you actually build this? The practice begins with awareness. The next time you feel anger rising, don't suppress it. Instead, observe it like a scientist studying a phenomenon. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to? Is it this person, or is it my story about this person? The Stoic philosophers knew that our emotions are fueled by our beliefs. Change the belief, and the emotion dissolves. This is where most people get stuck. They try to change the world when they should be changing themselves. Consider the story of a man who is cut off in traffic. One driver erupts with fury, screaming and honking. Another simply slows down and continues on their way. What's the difference? It's not the event, it's the interpretation. The first driver believes he's been disrespected. The second recognizes that the other driver might be rushing to a hospital or simply made a mistake. The Stoic asks, is this within my control? If the answer is no, let it go. If the answer is yes, act with virtue. This simple filter can save you from hours of unnecessary suffering. Now, let's address something uncomfortable. You might be thinking, this sounds great in theory, but what about real pain? What about betrayal, loss, or injustice that actually harms me? This is a valid concern, and the Stoics didn't ignore it. They understood that certain events carry real weight, but they also knew that adding our own emotional suffering to the injury only compounds the damage. React to nothing. Respond to everything with wisdom. Here's the practice that can rewire your mind. Every morning, prepare yourself for the day ahead. Visualize the challenges you might face, the rude coworker, the disrespectful stranger, the disappointing news. Tell yourself, today I will meet many people who are forgetful, ungrateful, and disrespectful. This is not their fault. They simply don't know better. Then, remind yourself of your own values. What kind of person do you want to be? One who is easily rattled, or one who stands like a rock in a storm. This is the Stoic preparation that makes the difference between reaction and response. In the evening, take a few minutes to reflect. What went well? What could you have done better? This is the Stoic practice of self-examination. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift. The things that used to ignite your anger will lose their power. The people who used to trigger you will seem almost invisible, not because they've changed, but because you have. You've stopped needing their approval. You've stopped needing the world to behave according to your expectations. Let me tell you what this looks like in real life. Picture a man named Epictetus. He was born a slave, crippled by his master, and yet he became one of the most influential philosophers in history. How? He realized that while his body was enslaved, his mind remained free. No one could touch his inner world. This is the ultimate lesson of Stoicism. Your mind is the only thing that truly belongs to you. Protect it with everything you have. And here's the secret that most people miss. The Stoic doesn't just endure hardship, they welcome it. Why? Because every challenge is an opportunity to practice virtue. Every insult is a chance to practice patience. Every setback is a chance to practice resilience. The Stoic sees the world as a training ground. When you adopt this mindset, you stop being a victim and become a warrior of the spirit. No one can trigger you because there is nothing left to trigger. The well is so deep that no stone can stir it. Let me ask you something deeply personal. How much time have you wasted being upset about things you cannot change? How much energy have you poured into resentment, anger, and frustration? Imagine what you could achieve if all that energy was redirected toward building the life you actually want. The Stoics knew that emotional energy is precious. Wasting it on trivialities is the ultimate poverty of spirit. The mind that masters itself masters the world around it. This is the art of emotional sovereignty. You are the only one who can disturb your own peace. The world will always offer reasons to be angry, offended, or hurt. But those reasons only take hold if you invite them in. Think of your mind as a fortress with a gate. The gate is always open, but you decide who enters. You can let insults in, or you can let them pass by like a gust of wind. You can let disrespect in, or you can see it for what it is, the other person's projection. This is the power you possess at every moment. When you master this, no one can trigger you, ever, and that is the ultimate freedom. Not the freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to be whoever you are, regardless of what the world throws at you. That's the Stoic legacy. That's the inheritance waiting for you. And it begins with one simple choice, the choice to react to nothing and respond to everything with wisdom and grace. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe to MindForge for more Stoic wisdom delivered straight to your feed. Drop a comment below about what triggers you most and how you're planning to overcome it. We read every one, and your story might inspire someone else on the same journey. Until next time, stay unshakable.